Hello, my lovelies. It's Heather here, writer and artist, among other things, and this vid is, well, catharsis for me, or therapy, or both. When I was in school, too long ago, but let's not get into that, I remember wondering why people wrote books in past tense. After all, if it already happened, isn't that like saying, don't worry, everything's fine to the audience? Spoiler, it's not. I also remember learning the difference between past tense and past perfect tense, but it never stuck. I don't know about any of you, and maybe it's just my ADHD autistic brain talking, but it never clicked. It just didn't make sense. Through trial and error, and the unholy amount of books I consumed at that age, I picked up when to use each, but I never really got why until about 5 years ago. So, something my high school self would have greatly benefited from is truly understanding past perfect tense. It creates a more complete picture of the English language, which, let's be real, we all need. Darn it, English! But that begs the question, what is the difference between past tense and past perfect tense? Putting it simply, past perfect is completed. Normal past tense isn't. At least, not necessarily. I already know dozens of you are looking at the screen going, what? Which is fair. That happened to me. So here's an example because I work best off of examples. Joanne walked to the store. In this sentence, we know someone named Joanne moved. We know how she moved. She walked. We know where she was headed, the store. She started this motion, but that doesn't mean she finished it. Compare that to Joanne had walked to the store that morning. In this sentence, Joanne completed that walk, and that's reaffirmed by saying when, this morning. But even if we just simplified it to Joanne had walked to the store, it's still telling us that she started and finished that particular action, walking to the store. At some point, she had to have arrived according to this sentence. It is a full, finished, completed action. To some, a perfect action. I may disagree, but it's English, what you gonna do? Hence, perfect tense. So when we write in past tense, it's like describing an action a couple of seconds after said action happened. A couple of seconds after it started. He ran into the swamp, almost immediately losing the light of the campfire, but he didn't care. This sentence works because even though he ran, past tense, into the swamp, the action isn't complete. Not until another action nullifies it. If we say he ran into the swamp and right into a tree, the action of a human body meeting a tree nullifies the running. However, in present tense, he is running into the swamp and right into a tree just doesn't have the same impact. Impact. See what I did there? Running into a tree and impact and moving on. So, how do we use this in writing? In character relaying. Yeah, what does that mean? Well, even in present tense, characters tell stories. They talk about memories, they speak of dreams, they relay information. So, if someone needs to tell someone else something, switch to past perfect. If a character thinks back on a memory, switch to past perfect. If someone tells a story, well, you get the picture. And again, this isn't an all or never thing. It's English. Sometimes English. Sometimes. But that being said, example time! As Joanne walked down the sidewalk toward the store, she thought back to what had happened that morning. Had she imagined it, the creepy sensation of liquid dripping down her spine, the heavy breaths on her neck? Had that truly happened? Had someone been there, breathing on her? She shuddered. Here we have Joanne in third person past tense. She's walking down the street and then she starts thinking. She remembers something. Adding had and have adds the completion, a sort of certainty. There are other ways to do it, but I found this to be the easiest. Someone had been breathing on her neck, but they no longer were. The action has finished. She had felt liquid dripping down her back, but no more. Then we return to more immediate past tense with how she shudders. And that ends it. Like a bookend keeping in the memories on the shelf. Okay, that may be getting way too Harry Potter-ish. But this is what makes sense to me. This also works in first-person present tense. I take a deep breath, trying to calm my beating heart. How could that happen? How could Amy have done that? She knows how much I hate being scared. I've talked to her about it before, multiple times. Yet she still lay on the floor laughing at me. My hands ball into fists. Here's where we see the main character take a breath, try to calm themselves down, and then we switch into what happened. Amy scared the MC despite knowing the MC hates it. She knows it because that's still ongoing. They had talked because it happened in the past and was over and done with. Then we return to the present with Amy laying on the floor and laughing. I hope that helps. In conclusion, past, present, and past perfect tenses all have their place, but past tense can be just as intense as present tense, albeit in different ways. And it's up to you to decide which is best for your story. Now, for today's exercise. Alright, let's take a character and have them think about something they've heard or experienced but are no longer experiencing. It could be an original character or a character from an existing franchise. Do you like Percy Jackson? How did one of the gods feel about a particular myth? Do you like Star Wars? How does Obi-Wan remember the Clone Wars when on Tatooine? Do you like The Lord of the Rings? I mean, Legolas is 2,000 years old. Maybe pick an interaction with his father or the dwarves before Smaug took over. Him looking at Gimli, his friend in the future, and comparing himself to how he used to think about the dwarves, maybe? It's up to you. Just get writing. And that's it. Let me know what you've come up with in the comments below. Just please keep it short and simple. Links to Google Docs are always welcome, though I may not be able to get to everyone and respond. Also, links in the description to my Patreon and other stories. My Patreons are currently on the page, and thank you so much to everybody watching this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and until next time, goodbye, my lovelies!